Your new crop production transactions and your crop sales that were directly from field updated production information in your crop production center details. If we look at setup, profit production centers, and crop production center details, we can select one of our details and see the transaction production and if it's a landlord, it'll be also calculated production in your total production information. This production information can be reported in a report under Reports, Reports again, and then Production Reports. And we're going to look at the reports under Crop Production Detail and look at crop production by production year. On the right are some filters. So we can filter for particular production center details. We're going to filter by a production year of 2018. And we're also going to filter for a couple of crops that we want to look at. So we're going to look at the corn and soybeans. You can also click more items. There are other filters that you can add, such as if you wanted to filter by a production center, you could do that. We're going to go ahead and preview. And that gives us a list of all of our production details that were in the year 2018 and either corn or soybeans. It gives us the lease name for each one of these details, the acres, the yield based on the total production divided by the acres, and our actual production. There are other columns you can add. We can go over to the Columns tab and click the Available tab. And there are other columns that you can add. So for example, if you wanted to see the owner share and the operator share on your lease type agreements, we could check operator share quantity 1 and owner share quantity 1 and refresh. And that adds those columns so we see the breakdown on our Henry Landlord lease agreement. We can also group. So if we wanted to have a subtotal for each one of those crops that we're looking at, we can go to Group and go to Available and add Profit Center because we want to group on Profit Center. Now come back over to Selected, and we want to group it right underneath the production year. So we have production year still first, and then it's going to group it by profit center and refresh. And now we have a total for each one of our crops in addition to a grand total for the 2018. If you don't want this extra report totals down at the bottom, we can get rid of that too by going up to General. And you just simply need to uncheck to show report totals. And then refresh, and that just cleans it up a little bit. So that's a great report to do to summarize the production information. If you want to see activity of all your different production details, a great report is under Reporting Tools, Production Analysis, and Analysis. And there are lots of videos on using production analysis. And this is a great way to see a breakdown of each one of your production details with all the activity of your revenue and costs, and as well as some calculated columns for you. We're also going to do a session on doing a crop production report that you can give your landlords.